Just for me.
Just for
Just
me.
for me. Resolutions, and then we'll
What
get
have
to.
you
And this
done
is
for
our
me
favorite parts of
lately?
the. Ooh, yeah. Okay, test. Hey, community.
Well, 2020 is a wrap.
So here's what brewed this year.
AunTea Jerrell remembers Beyonce, Kelly, and sex toys.
Auntie Kerel remembers ASCII Auntie's body count.
And AunTea Dawon remembers curiosity gets nasty. So get your cups ready for MinoriTea report.
Thank you, Lord. We done made it to the end of 2020.
Ooh, Lord. Won't he do it?
Won't he
Won't he do it?
Hey, man. Hey, seriously. Do the
Mm.
jack. Man, it's been a year.
A whole year.
A whole year. Like I said this before we even hopped on here. I was like, I listened to that first episode of last year or of 2020, and how naive it sounds now. We had no clue in that moment what 2020 was about to throw our way.
Yeah. No. The highs, the lows, the everything in between.
The ups, the downs.
Oh my
the
God.
Quarantines.
The quarantines, we've been through a lot and like still going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we made it.
Honestly, yeah, like seriously, I think about like the beginning of the year and it felt like the ride that just would never end, you know.
Seriously.
You know, like you ever like be on the phone with someone and they just won't shut the fuck up and you trying to get off the phone. This year felt like that the whole time. You're like
we've been giving you the clue the whole time. Like,
yeah,
okay, well,
yeah.
This year felt like this year felt like the tilt-a-whirl to me. Have you ever ridden on the tilt-a-whirl? That's the one where you get in and it's just a big barrel and then it just starts spinning. And you stand up against the wall, then they drop the floor on you.
Oh, the Gravitron.
Yeah,
that's what we call it. Yeah,
but still, you just stick into the wall, and then you try to get off the wall, and sometimes you could just be standing out like Superman or whatever. But then at any moment, it could start slowing down, and then the gravity will take you down.
That kind of stomach hurt.
It felt like that to me.
Absolutely. Like, I mean,
the floor just dropped, but you're having fun. You're smelling funnel cake.
right. And puke and everything, too, because people be puking all the damn time in that shit. And it'd be floating next to you.
Just staring.
Like, this felt like the longest year, but then now here it is, the end of December, going into 2021. It also feels like it went like that. At the same time, in a weird way. It's just like, because you think back.
That's trauma. That's just trauma.
Right.
Yeah. That's just like stuff that we then blocked out, stuff that like, you know, like while we was in quarantine, like every day was like, it was like the exact same. So it was like one long ass day, you know?
Yeah. I think it's also because like weekends didn't feel like weekends anymore. Like because we were quarantined, like Saturday hits. And I don't know about y'all, but Saturday, like, we'll hit, I'll be like, damn, I got one more day. Like, I could, like, by the time I was able to unpack all the shit from Monday to Friday, it was Sunday, and I was like, I got one more sleep, I gotta work again, you know? And then you can't go nowhere, so it's like, damn, I can't even take a vacation to go somewhere to really recharge, you know? Like,
I feel like I've lived in this room, just because, like, I work from home. And then, like, I edit the podcast and everything literally in this same spot. So there would be days where, like, I would work and then, like, edit. And it'd be, like, start from, like, 7 a.m. to, like, midnight. And I'm like, I have not gone outside. I have not moved from this room barely. Like,
you wake up and it's dark. You go to sleep, it's dark. It's dark at 4 o'clock. Like, it's
I'm low-key into
crazy.
That, though.
Really?
I am, too. I don't know. There's something about just... like waking up and it's dark out, I just feel, because I'm a morning person, so I just feel like I'm being active automatically. I wake up and it's dark out and I'm like, yes, okay, start the day, get things done. And then when it's dark, by the time I get off, I feel like I've accomplished anything. The only thing I accomplished is not taking a nap, but I still feel like I accomplished something, you know?
Oh, no. But were there lessons that you learned this year? Is there something that 2020 taught you for sure?
I'm over a 1-bedroom apartment. I know I'm over 700 square feet. I know that much.
So what's the growth plan? How do you get out of 700?
Bare minimum. We are going to a 2-bedroom bare minimum. We've looked. Actually, we met with a realtor already, and so we've got a game plan. So we know how much we're now saving to buy a house.
Yeah.
Because houses out here, just for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house out here, you're easily spending about $550,000.
Oh, I believe it.
Just easily, and that's like 30 to 35 minutes away from the city. Like those houses go for 1.5 million actually in Seattle. So my ass is becoming a suburb hoe in order to get my house dreams. Right?
Suburban hoe.
You know, so like, but you know, the thing is like, and this is where like the robbery comes into play. Like a 2-bedroom like in Seattle is like $2,700. So then you're like, I'm paying $2,700 for a 2-bedroom. That's a mortgage.
Yeah.
So like, and like, it makes just the most sense to go to a house. So that's what we learned this year is that, you know, it was a cute little starter, you know, apartment for us. But as we're growing and we need more space, and we have every intention on our family actually growing as well too. It's about time to start investing into those decisions. Yeah. So I think that was one of the big things that I learned this year.
What you learned this year, Dawon?
I learned the value of like really just getting centered into like my own community. You know, like with all the stuff that happened with like George Floyd and then some, you know, I never really considered myself an activist. And you know, I'm still not like a front lines kind of guy, you know, it's just not my cup of tea. And not where I feel like it's authentic to me and who I am and where I can be, you know, of the most value. But, you know, things that I can do in terms of using my voice, using my platform, you know, like having conversations with people that I care about and a bunch of people that I don't care about, like, you know, that degree of activism around racial, you know, inequality and injustices and, you know, trying to raise that was really important. I think the other thing of it is just resilience. You know, this was such a trying year. You know, with all the things that have happened, from the people that we lost to, you know, 45 in the White House, and with the election, and with Corona, and, you know, having our lives turned upside down. You know, in any other circumstance, I think that a lot of us, and me specifically, would have like, you know, completely just like had a breakdown, you know, but, you know, I think I learned the value of self-care and being resilient, you know, through the power of self-care, you know, understanding what my triggers are, and, you know, trying to mitigate that, you know, how much TV I'm watching, how much news I'm watching, what kinds of conversations I'm getting in, you know, what kind of things I need to be exposed to, you know, through social media and all that kind of stuff. Like, when you don't have an escape because you're, you know, like Jerrell said, you know, you're walking around, you know, there are 4 walls and that's the only place you can go, you know, it's hard to escape that. So, you know, looking at 2021 is kind of like, it's like I learned some things, I've grown a lot, and, you know, Lord, hope that we don't have another year like this one.
I set the bar low. 2020 has already made me set the bar low on everything in life at this point. So I'm expecting 2022 will be the year that the seeds that I've planted this year, where you will probably start seeing a little sprout or something, you know. How about you, Kerel?
What about you?
Oh man. Like the 2 words that kind of popped in my head even before you said resilience, and health. Just the importance of health, or like maybe not taking health for granted. Maybe that's even a better way to say it. Resilience, obviously, like this year, man, it's gonna make me boohoo, honestly. obviously there's always like the COVID stuff and the Ahmed Arbery and George and Brianna and all that stuff. But then even just like personally, like my husband having health struggles, my niece being in the hospital for months still, like the emotional stuff day in, day out, trying to be strong for everyone. It sucked. But again, it showed that I am more resilient and can handle more, and the plate can find more room somehow when you need it to find room. Even when you don't necessarily want to put more on your fucking plate. No one else is adding more to their plate, so you got to find a way to balance it all somehow. And again, I think it's just taught me that, okay, Kerel, you can handle some shit. You can hang in there with the best of them. Be proud of that. I feel like I'm never a braggadocious person. But sometimes it's just like, Kerel, you could do some shit, and be proud of that. Like, you have the skill set, and you don't need to flaunt it everyone. But clearly, with everything that like happened this year. To still be here, still be laughing and smiling, and doesn't mean that everything's okay, but I can have the emotional maturity to hang in there. So that resilience, and then just knowing how precious health can be and how quick it can change. Like literally to go from one day, my niece being literally on the phone with me like, hey, Uncle Rel, hey, Corey, and literally the next week, like, we're fighting for her life for months. And I haven't even really talked about it on here. That's a lot. And then to have your husband literally one day, well, we kind of knew he wasn't okay, but figuring out what was wrong with him, and then to be diabetic and things like that, and literally shift your life. And then on top of it, like, you're dealing with COVID, you're dealing with race shit, you're dealing with old boy in the White House, and people trying you. I can handle some shit, and I'm going to be proud of that, because I don't know years ago if I would have been okay, and to realize that the steps that you take to grow, the steps that you take to work on yourself, the self-care that you're saying, Dawon, that it does pay off in times where you're really being tried, So yeah, like 2020 was crazy, but it really takes these lessons, these turmoils, to realize I can hang in there with the best of them, and that's okay to brag on yourself sometimes.
Yeah, one of the things I would like to add to that I learned this year was also the importance of relationships, not taking them for granted, and knowing that investing in the relationships isn't just, showing up at a bar, isn't just showing up at someone's birthday party, isn't just going on a vacation somewhere. Investing is also showing up in those moments of need, and there's just those random times and just those check-ins, like I can't say that I would have made it through 2020 without first you two, because every single fucking week this was my therapy. I knew that this was the one thing every week, all damn year, that I was able to be like, the pandemic doesn't exist. I get to be with my girl. This was the one thing that was normal from 2019 that did not change. Because everything that we do for the podcast is literally the same. I mean, like, even like how I navigate my relationship had to change because we're confined to a space. How I navigate my other relationships with my friends and my family were different because I can no longer travel to see them and be around them like I wanted to, and so learning how to navigate different relationships was something that I felt like I really learned, and also just realizing the importance of those who also invest that same energy in you. I realized that there was so much I was investing in people in 2019 and I wasn't getting anything back. Because then we would see each other, I'm like, oh my God, hey, da, 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 da. But then I realized in between those, hey, how you doing? Is when we get excited. It was just a one-way street. And so now during COVID, I've gotten like, oh, guess what? I don't get to see you as much. So then you get to see those people who care about you just on those random Tuesdays or that random Thursday or whatever the case is. And I get it that we're in a pandemic, and so we also encourage people to focus on their own mentals and stuff like that. But kind of to your analogy about making room on the plate for things, it showed me who was making room on their plate for me, just like I was making room on my plate for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh, community. Hopefully you're thinking of what your highs and lows and lessons learned for this year, because that's the only way you grow. Like, you have to provide yourself feedback, honestly. Like, in it, sometimes it looks good, sometimes it don't look so pretty. You know,
that's true.
And that's fine. That's just part of the growth pattern to go through life. Did you hit your resolutions? I know, Dawon, like, you're not a big resolutions person, so I don't think you even put any out there. But Jerrell, I think you said, I wrote it down because I
bet on myself. It was bet on myself. Yeah, not
or bet on yourself. Yes,
to bet on myself this year, and nope, she didn't. You know, here's the thing. COVID gave me the time to bet on myself, to like start doing those little things that I wanted to do. A bitch wanted to read more. A bitch wanted to work out more. She wanted to finally have a six-pack. She wanted to learn how to get the guitar. Yep. I wanted to learn the guitar. I wanted to learn how to speak another language. You know, I wanted to do all these things.
Yeah.
However, I couldn't do all those things because I was dealing with the absence of not being able to do my regular norms. That I couldn't feel like myself without those things. So this year was just about discovering myself without all the things that I used to define myself in, which was being around my friends and my family, traveling, you know, playing sports. I used to play sports like 4 or 5 nights a week, you know, like going to the gym 5 times a week. Like, I miss doing those things. That's how I defined who I was or who I am as an individual. And so I felt like I couldn't bet on myself this year because I had to start over from scratch and figure out who the hell is Jerrell. Yeah, because you were limited.
It was a naive, like, we didn't know. We didn't know.
Yeah,
we didn't know at that point when we said the stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. You can control what you control. I reached my book goal. I said I wanted to read more, so I reached that goal.
Yes.
I said I wanted to lose 20 pounds. I'm down 16. So
okay, now
didn't quite hit it, but okay, I'll take the 16. Yeah,
you got a couple days left before the end of the year,
right?
Girl, not this holiday season.
You just not eat.
Woo. The one I didn't really hit was, I did say I wanted to work on music more, and I just didn't have the time this year. Like, I just, between the podcast and just the family stuff, there was just a lot. So I was like, that was the one thing that had to kind of be taken off the plate this year. So hopefully I pick that back up next year. But I'm kind of proud of myself. I said I wanted to do these things. I kind of hit them. I didn't know at the time how hard it was going to be to hit them. but I did all right. So we'll see. Community, let us know what your goals. Did you hit your goals? Did you not hit your goals? You have new goals for 2021 that you're just going to pick back up on?
I'm telling everyone, don't set no goals for 2021.
Just see what happens.
Just see what happened for real. Like, we going into 2021 like,
I know.
You know, like,
it's true.
I can't do it. I can't set not a net goal. The only goal I'm gonna set is this podcast. Right. That's it. Because I feel like that's really the only thing that
we can kind of control.
That we can kind of control, you know, because it still depends on all three of us, you know, at that. But I feel like that's the only thing that I really have like the most control over, or even just, and also just the desire to, you know, like I said, like, this just brings me so much joy and so much happiness, and I love just being able to talk when people are like, oh, well, how you been? How you doing? And I love I'm like, y'all, this podcast has been my therapy. Like, my siblings are starting to listen. Like, my family are actually starting to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm learning a lot about you. And I'm like, yeah, because when I'm around y'all, I'll let y'all have the moment. I sit there because y'all not ready for this side.
and so you get glimpses of
because I'll be fighting. Right.
Right.
Because they're not ready. Because if I gave them the honesty and this smoke, it'll be a whole other thing. And I'm like, you know what?
I know, like, my mom will like text me, or my dad would text me like, your mom listened to the podcast and said that, like, the testosterone thing. My dad was like, okay, make sure you ask the doctor this and that, because it's just nothing. Like, I don't know why I didn't tell him. It is what it is, I guess. But like, it's interesting that they're finding out additional information from this podcast, and I'm like, oh damn, I'm sharing a lot. But even to that effect, though, like you were saying, Jerrell, I think like sometimes you might be around your family, and there's certain portions of you that comes out when you're around family. There's certain portions that come out when you're around friends. There's certain portions, you know, I don't know if we're all 100% everywhere we go, you know. And this podcast has been maybe one that over time you start to see more of that 100%, because it might not be every episode, but over time, I mean, this is episode 98. Might have been something I said in episode 2, and then something I said in episode 37, you know, that you kind of start to see maybe a fuller picture of who Dawon is, who Kerel is, who Jerrell is, that folks might not see, especially if you're not here all day, every day. Like, besides my husband, he might be the closest one at this point, because he's here all day, every day, you know?
Right. Well, and my mom and I had this conversation a while ago, like when the podcast first started, because she was saying like, wow, you know, like you know, there are things that I never even knew, you know, about, you know, what you believed or whatever. And, you know, I shared with her, it's like, you know, that's because we have different kinds of relationships, you know, like we're not asking each other like philosophical questions all the time. You know, we're not like responding, you know, intimately to, you know, things that are going on in the world around us all the time, you know. And the fact that the three of us get together, you know, every single week, and we're coming up with things that we're going to be talking about and you know, and responding to, you know, it's a very these are intentional conversations. And, you know, we made it a point to be very transparent and as open as we can be, and honest and authentic with, you know, how we're responding. And we don't always, you know, get our, you know, our political correctness correct. But, you know, but I do think that people and our families, you know, do get to see parts of us that we just aren't used to sharing, because I don't think that a lot of, you know, friendships are, you know, like get into like these deep philosophical questions. You know, I know every once in a while, like the impetus for this podcast was like our text threads, you know, where we were just responding to things going on in the world. But, you know, I mean, to have the level of insight and depth and understanding that we have between the three of us, and to talk about things that are really serious, and to invite other people in who have a different perspective or a different experience to be able to share from their point of view, you know, the platform allows us to be able to explore all that in a really, you know, meaningful way.
Absolutely.
I do want to say this. Can y'all believe it's been 2 years since we got the ball rolling, when we start having conversations about the podcast? 2 years.
I know.
Went by like that.
It really did.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of work
every
for
week.
2 years.
Every week, here we are.
I was about to say, there's certain weeks I do remember that it's been 2 years. I'm like, like if I had to edit this one more damn time. And then there's other weeks where I'm listening and I'm almost a fan of us, because like a lot of times, like, you're in the moment, so sometimes you honestly kind of forget either what you talked about or what your initial reaction was, and you listen back, you're like, oh damn, I did say that, didn't I?
Yep.
Well, like, because when I listen back, sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, I share too much.
Yeah, me too.
You know, like I cannot believe I freaking said that. You know, but then afterwards I'm like, but that was some real ass shit.
Right.
You know, so I'm proud. Yeah. You know, I said what I said, you know.
I know, like, I thought about this the other day. I was like, because community, we're going to get to our best of. This is a best of episode, by the way. Subscribe, download, share, and all that good stuff. But I was like, man, I wonder if we should do one day, and it would take us listening back to some old episodes, how have our opinions changed to something or shifted to something where like in that moment in time we meant exactly what we said, but maybe there's been a growth or experience that has occurred. And I don't know
Rain on Me.
You know?
I said this year I didn't like Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yep.
There it is. That's one of them right there for you. I trashed that. I trashed that song when it first came out. And Kerel, you were like, "Oh, the numbers said." I said, "Fuck them numbers."
You're right. You did say that.
That's all. I need more.
Blah, I'm like, bitch, it debuted that number. No, I was like, I guarantee you it's gonna debut at number one. You're like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
That shit debut.
It sure did. And I've danced several times in 2020.
It's just a nice little bop.
Yeah.
It's a nice little bop in the background. Ari sang the shit out this background in that song. If you listen,
at first I didn't, and again I said I expected more.
Yeah.
But then when I hear the song, I was like, oh yeah,
listen to it.
She outdid Lady Gaga on her own song.
Oh yeah, she did. She bodied.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say bodied, but she was trying to body her.
Yeah, she was.
But anyway, okay, so community. It's a best of episode. So what we wanted to do, I mean, we've talked about a lot. We've had a lot of awesome guests. We've done a lot of great segments. We've disagreed, agreed, disagreed, and agreed again.
And shout out to all of our guests. I do want to say that too.
Absolutely.
One of the highlights of 2020, and
that was a
think
goal
I'm speaking
of
for
ours.
all of us. Yes, is a highlight is literally having all the guests that we've had on this year. Like just getting, other voices heard, sharing other platforms, and just really coming together as a community, has just been such a highlight. So I would like to say, as a collective, I'm pretty sure that's all of ours, number one. But there are other things in there individually outside of that number one goal for this year that we also enjoyed as well.
Absolutely.
Our guests made it so much fun, though. Like,
really,
every time we had somebody on, like, I just feel like, damn, can we just have you on every single week?
Right?
Like we have like our little daily show with like different segments where we bring somebody else on. But like, I feel very fortunate that we've been able to have people on who are, just as open. People were willing to talk about anything and everything and really kind of lay things on the line. And, they talk about things that they ordinarily wouldn't talk about on their platform because their platform is like has one specific focus, but they were able to come here and let their hair down and drink a little something and let the conversation go where it went.
Yeah.
So
and they also add volume to what we talked about too, making sure that our episodes, were something new and different for the community,
I learned a lot
as well
from
too.
And
I learned,
absolutely. Oh, and I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I did. Especially like, and this wasn't part of the layout of this episode, even just like having, why am I drawing a blank of their real names? Because it's Auntie Penguin Gummy and
Dave
Smoothie.
and John?
No,
Queer Era
Gummy
podcast.
Yes. Vodka Penguin.
Yeah.
But like having like the Lebanon blast literally happen the week that they were going to be on was like a standout moment. I was like, man, sadly that it happened, but it was like these perfect moments throughout the year that I'm like, God, we had the right guests at the right time, and it was supposed to be, So I learned a shit ton.
I learned a lot this year.
And before we get to the segment, so one thing, community, I don't know if you even know, each week we have to come up with like the show title. And some weeks it's easy. We're like, oh, that. And we try to be creative. We try to be witty. We try to be whatever. Sometimes just matter of fact. So we each picked our favorite show title of the year. And we'll ask you guys as well on social media what some of your favorite show titles. I don't know if you guys pay attention. If not, then damn, we should be working as hard on these damn titles.
Look, save us 5 minutes, an hour.
Right.
Save us 5 minutes to an hour after every episode.
But if you do, let us know some of your favorite show titles. And Jerrell, we'll ask you first. What was your favorite show title of the year? Or at least one.
Okay, so first of all, everyone knows who my queen is. Beyonce.
Yes.
Okay, Beyonce.
Yes.
And my favorite is Beyonce, Kelly, and Sex Toys. Like that just did it for me. First of all, it makes, in hindsight, talking about Kelly Rowland and her sex toys when she was talking about she was drunk on Twitter doing this.
Yeah.
It makes sense because she's pregnant now. So she
That
knew
is
what
so
she was
true.
doing during this quarantine
Right.
back then in April. Like she was on that Twitter. She was in the mood. You know, there must have been
coffee and sex in the morning.
Hey. That's where she was during that time.
And that was episode that came out on May 4th, by the way, if you wanted to kind of look at these titles while we say that.
Yes.
Dawon, what was yours?
I'm gonna say way back in February we did a segment called "Curiosity Get Nasty."
Oh wait, are we doing the segments now too? Or are we doing
the segments or are we doing titles?
Titles.
Okay, well then I would say.
Oh, I did segments.
Oh, you did segments?
Yeah, that's why he threw me off. I was like, okay, well.
I did segments.
Well, you know what segment about to come up there in the community. What was your favorite title, Jerrell?
My favorite go ahead.
We'll scratch that. Okay. Jerrell. We'll just judo chop this bitch.
How long has it been? We've been doing this podcast.
Look,
2 years.
Y'all getting the end of the year. Y'all getting the end of the year realness for
absolutely
the struggle.
Okay, what was your favorite title of an episode?
So my title would then be. I think it was when Landon did the intro for Shannon, and it was Blackface, Ask Your Aunties, and then like Insecure is back too. Oh, it was like, are you freaky? Ask your auntie, are you freaky or not? That was good. Are you nasty? Are you freaky or are you nasty?
Yeah.
That was my favorite like title. But yeah, and my segments.
What was yours, Dawon?
I just had it here. Hold on a second.
Well, while he's looking that one up, I can tell you what my favorite title, just because there was a behind this. There was a behind this, or actually, I'll let Dawon because I'm going to put in a clip of my favorite title.
Oh wow, she's about to do you
because it's everything. It's everything. Go ahead, Dawon.
My favorite one is one we did back in August. It was August the 31st was when that episode came out, and it was just the auntie, so we didn't have any guests, and it was Blackest Strength, Blackest Resilience, and Blackest Culture. And at that point, that was like the heat of Black Lives Matter movement, and we were all feeling, very PTSD, but then also, trying to like dig into like ourselves and really celebrate like what we're all about. So, I love that title.
I love that one too, actually.
And what was your segment?
Yeah.
Since we're doing both, since I did both, go ahead.
My segment was a Curiosity Get Nasty. That was my and I like that one in part because we haven't talked a whole lot about ourselves and what we do, and this curiosity was questions about like getting to know like the freakier sides of your aunties. And so we've let some little nuggets. We sprinkled some nuggets into some conversations, but this we pulled the curtain all the way back.
The shower curtain,
all the way down.
Right.
See, and I think that's why I picked my two. I think that's why I picked my two, because on the segment Beyonce, Kelly, and sex toys, because I'm the auntie with all the damn toys. Y'all not. Yeah. And so y'all were asking me questions like, oh, well, what kind of sizes are there? Are there different colors and all that
We're like,
stuff?
Do you like the one that's a suction cup one and not a suction cup one?
And so I'm just laying it all out there. And then for the Ask Your Aunties, are you freaky or are you nasty? It went that same route again, too. So
that was a freaky episode.
And
we talked about like silicone lube versus water-based lube. Gun oil, by the way. If you hear this episode, we're waiting for you to sponsor us. Thank you, because we like gun oil, silicone lube. And that's like no plug.
On a regular.
Seriously.
On a regular.
My favorite title, and it goes back to just behind the scenes stuff that like a lot of times you guys don't hear unless I do like a deleted scene or something on the YouTube. And if you haven't watched the YouTube, you're missing out, honestly. YouTube was like another highlight of this year. Even though it's a lot of more work, you get to see our facial expressions and like some of the like behind the scenes shit that we always play at the beginning of a clip. But this particular week, it was the same week as the Lebanon one. So the queer Arabs, hey ladies, the names, auntie names that they picked was Auntie Vodka Smoothie and Vodka Gummy Penguin. And so it was up to Dawon at the beginning of that episode to say that part. And this girl could not spit it out for the life of him. Like, and like Jerrell and I were dying. Like, literally, probably the hardest we laughed all year was that moment because Dawon probably did like 5-6 takes of that one.
Couldn't get it out.
And he was like, Anka. And we're like, bitch, are you speaking German?
Like,
so actually, I will put a clip of it. I dug in the delete. Literally, it was not in the episode. I think I put it on the YouTube. It was in the episode, so I had to go redig this part of it out of the deleted shit, and I'll put it right now.
Introducing Auntie's Vodka Smoothie. Damn! Introducing Auntie's Vodka Gummy Penguin.
This might have to be a blooper reel.
Smoothie and Gummy Penguin. I mean, it's right. I'm looking at it. It's right here. And it's just too damn long and it's making me sweat. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this. Okay. Auntie Vodka Smoothie and Vodka Gummy Penguin. Okay. Mm-hmm. Introducing Anka Vodka Smoothie and...
Anka, I'm sorry.
What did I say? Did I say
Anka? You said Anka. You went German on us, bitch. You started speaking a whole nother language.
Auntie Vodka Smoothie.
I'm so sorry, baby, but you...
Oh my God, that was great.
Introducing Auntie's Vodka. I think it's hard because it's like it's introducing Auntie's Vodka Smoothie and Vodka Gummy Penguin. Yes. That's a whole lot to say. It wouldn't be so bad. It would be. Look, it wouldn't be so bad if, like, I didn't have to look at the camera. That's right. The killer part about it. All right.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get sorry, I'm in tears. Oh.
He said it so confidently.
Sir Dave, and he just kept going. And I was like, bitch, you better do that.
We was rooting your ass off. We're like, yes, bitch. You better alter that thing. I would die watching this back.
I know you will, bitch. I know you will.
Oh, man. Okay. So yeah, that was Dawon struggling.
It reminded me of when she had to say interracial during the album.
Yes, it don't work for me.
So that title was everything for me. It was, and then also it was like, so it was introducing Auntie's Vodka Smoothie and Vodka Gummy Penguin. Ashley Auntie's Bothered and Depressed, and Black is Still King. So that was right after Beyonce drops Black is King, and we watched it like 200 times. So the following week it was Still King.
Yep. Shout out to Landon for sharing that.
Right, yeah, thank
Disney
you.
Plus with us.
Landon shared that Disney Plus subscription to like 20 motherfuckers. Like,
and you legit said it was like, I ain't watched it since the last time I watched Black
haven't.
King.
Literally that. And I might need to watch it one last time before he give that subscription up. But okay, so community, here is so you chose Jerrell, the Beyonce Kelly and Sex Toys episode segment as your favorite of the year. Okay, I'm here for it. So community, here is that segment. But now, let's get to the true matter at hand.
Yes!
We said it a couple weeks ago. We said she was too quiet.
Yes.
And then today, we recording on a Wednesday right now. She said, I'm going to hop on this Savage remix right quick and just destroy everybody's favorite rapper out there. Beyonce's like top 5 that are alive at this point, it seems like.
Look, when she said, if you don't jump to put your jeans on, baby, you don't feel my pain. I said, oh, girl, I gasped. I was like, oh, even my booty cheeks, you know, they even moved a little bit. I was like, oh, they know that move too.
It was like world stop again.
Yeah. Literally. That's exactly what it was. Oh. Bitch. And then she said on that Demon Time, might start an OnlyFans page.
And a lot of people aren't hip on to what the Demon Time is. So the Demon Time is right now on IG. A lot of the strippers of the world are either getting on rappers' IG lives and twerking and everything for them and get some coin, or doing their own IG live of just stripping. They gotta make their coins too, you know. So if you didn't know what Demon Time is, that's what that is. And for B to know what this shit is,
look. She said, I'm a cool mom, okay? Good luck.
She may be like quarantined on some island somewhere, but she's still connected to the culture.
Girl, absolutely.
Real talk.
Look, absolutely. What time it is. She came on time. Y'all community, Auntie Hennessy has been having a day today. And when Auntie Vodka said, B dropped a new song, I said, huh? I said, what? You mean my queen?
Huh.
She showed up.
All the way up.
Okay,
bitch. She said, I'm going to drop 3 verses on Megan's remix.
Bitch. It was so good.
She said, excuse me, Megan. Excuse me. I got 3 verses.
And I love that Megan like switched up her, hers too. Like she didn't stick with the original, verses of Savage. She actually remixed it and, switched it up. And I was like, good for you, because you knew Beyonce was going to be like that. That old stuff?
You ain't doing that.
This is mine. See, this is mine, okay? It may say featuring, but it is mine, okay?
I mean, really, it was a whole Beyonce song with a couple of features from Meg Thee Stallion. Like, that's really what it ended up being.
Beyonce had ad-libs, she had harmonies, she had...
And look,
I got shit else to do. Let me just make a full-ass song.
She got nothing but time on her hands, so she did it all.
She did. She brought in the song and closed the song, talking about the stallion, the bee. I said,
right.
I wouldn't
not even not bee. She said, bee, with all the harmonies stacked. I was like, bitch, I can't.
I wouldn't be surprised if she has been at home working with her like choreographer already through Zoom, building out some choreography to release like at the end of this week or the early part of next week.
Don't play. I hope so.
With a whole new dance routine, and it's like just one whole routine. So we can get all the bitches that are home can get on that TikTok and just start doing pieces of her routine.
Jaquel, I hope you hear this. Get that routine ready.
Look, the plan is to put something out before she does, so she can do what Megan did for the album to begin with for this song before and blew up the TikTok dance. So she gonna finally probably try to get out there on TikTok because y'all know she ain't with it.
Oh, she got that burner account.
No, but I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. Okay. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna be the one to create that dance before it's released. So then she be like, okay, I'm gonna include his choreography in this one.
Right.
It does make you thirsty for a Beyonce rap album, though. Like legit. It makes you. If you really think about like where her journey has been going, and she's been dropping these little like just tipping her toe in that hip hop water, with like a bunch of songs.
She's always rapped, because even back on like Bugaboo. She's like, it's not high that you be calling me. She's been rapping since the 90s. But I think she's just doing more. And obviously, if you're going to live with Jay-Z, you better pick up a few pointers along the way, So
at least by injection, so.
Well, we already know that. She's like, I got Blue, Sir, and Remy. Remy.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear. I would love to hear like just like even if it's like
rap verse
even if it's like an EP, like 8 songs, that's completely different than everything else, but it has that rap swag on it. That would be amazing.
And honestly, since she gave birth to her twins, her voice has changed. Like, and a lot of women say that, like once they have kids, that their voice gets deeper, and you could tell her voice has gotten deeper. And this is, I'm sorry, community. It's about to be the music nerd coming out of me again. She's actually starting to modulate her songs down. People don't know it. But if you listen to the original and to the new versions that she does of, like, say...
I know it's in Homecoming. Like
Yeah,
listen
and
in Homecoming, you see it clearly in Homecoming.
The tune or the key down, and a lot of singers do that because like what you do in the studio, you're perfecting the moment. What you do live is just having the moment, and sometimes you can't sing them high ass notes day in and day out like that. Your voice is built for that.
While you running around doing backflips and working on
like, nobody got time for that. So she's starting to modulate her key down, and her range is a lot lower now than it was at the beginning of her career. And you can kind of tell, and that's even at the beginning of this song, like her first notes, you're like, ooh, she got that little deep rasp going on, and I like it, honestly.
I love it.
I mean, like even in like in Homecoming when she does Crazy in Love, the very first song, like you can see the difference between when she was and 2003 when she came out, 2002 when she came out with it, to now, 18 years later.
She's like, she's like, let me rest these vocals. Let me just rap.
She's still slaying the fuck out of it though. Shoot,
I'm here for it. I am so here for it. I got so happy. Like, I don't know why I stand so hard. Like, it doesn't make sense, community. Why I like get this hype over this woman. It's insane.
I love me some her.
Ooh, I love me some her.
I was just sitting here thinking like obviously like I have a lot of love for Beyonce, and there's no but in this. Like that's just a period. Right. I feel like I get more excited when I see the visuals. Like I'm more visually stimulated. So whenever I hear like her albums for the first time, I usually am not like with it for the very first time. It usually takes me like 3 or 4 times listening to the whole album straight to really get with it. And that's usually coupled with I need those visuals to come along with it. And then it pulls it all together for me. So like I do feel like my reservation right now isn't because of a lack of love for Bey, but I like in my mind, I was telling you guys earlier, I'm sitting here imagining her like in the studio doing choreography and all this because like that's what I really want. I want that the visuals to come out with it.
Bitch, she gets me together with the lyrics before I see the visual. Bitch, when she said you can see these cheeks, left cheek, right cheek, I said, yes, bitch. You already know I'm twerking to this part right now. You telling me what to do because you know
twerking in the mirror.
Girl, I was like,
all the way together.
Come through, mother.
She was like it's. I love the stunting bee. Yes. That's what I really enjoy. Yeah. Because there's very few people that can literally live up to that level. There's like a Beyonce, there's like a Rihanna.
They're the only two that I can think of.
And I get it now. A lot of people put Ari up there. I get it because it's just exactly. It's not me putting her up there. But
wait. Ariana Grande.
Hold on. I don't. But I know a lot of the young kids. A lot of young kids put her up there as well. However, not Kerel, Travis, not Auntie Baca. Laughing real hard.
Girl, she said she went from Beyonce, Rihanna, and then she said Ari. Look, my face broke. I thought look.
But a lot of the young gays, like you just see all them. Even something just went viral this week where it was like a meme of like them saying this is what a gay's heart sounds like, and it's the opening to the I'm so into you, that little boom 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 boom, and that shit had like millions of views. So I'm like, okay, it's the next generation's queen. I get it, every generation gets it, because even to this day Corey's like Madonna's queen. I don't see it, but I get that's that gay generation. I understand it, but I forget what I was even saying.
Girl.
Because it was trash.
But when it comes to like a Beyonce and a Rihanna, like just the way they just move the culture forward and just have these moments continually, it's insane. So I can't wait for it. Let Riri drop something now. Like I'm literally gonna just lose all my shit. We talked about it. We said both of them were too quiet.
Look, I mean, she's an OG girl, but I just found out Brandy is releasing an album coming up soon too. Yeah, and the album, the song called Baby Mama with Chance the Rapper, I was like, that's gonna be fire. Like that's gonna be fire. It's gonna be so good. And she got an album coming out in June, I want to say. So, Girl, it's been a hot minute. So I don't know. Look, I'm glad music is coming back. I'm glad people got over that shit. Like, oh, because of coronavirus, I'm not gonna put nothing out. Like, no. Do your job, put it out there still. We need it.
And we're gonna do all the routine. We're gonna do whatever. So do your little Zoom routine if you need to, because we're gonna learn it. You ain't got shit else to do in the crib.
Like Tootsie, like was it the Tootsie slide that Drake literally released for TikTok? Like
smart as hell.
It's really
smart as hell.
But everything is telling you to do something. It's easy. I was like, smart. You exactly. Kudos to you. Now is the time to do that. Like,
I do feel like because we're all like sheltering in place, there's no excuse. If you're a true artist, this is your time. Like you have no distractions whatsoever. Start getting to that studio, start releasing stuff. And you don't even have to release a whole project. You know, like do some features, do some whatever. Like I just want to see like the creatives really just start pushing out more and more projects and releasing them in like non-traditional ways so that they don't feel like they have to like buck to the system or how the system feels that they need to release their music. Like just do you, because right now we ain't got nothing but time and opportunity.
And that's another reason why Missy released Cool Off too, because she knew that was gonna catch up. I'm gonna need to do that though. Like a helicopter. Hey, what?
Bitch, that's a cardio workout.
It is.
It is.
I watched that. Yeah. I watched that challenge, and I'm like, bitch, I don't think I can make it through this whole part.
Me either. And you see a lot of people cut off even the front part of it now.
Right.
They're like, okay, we're just gonna get to that part.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on, there's a whole like 16 count before even that part that y'all ain't doing.
Girl,
get a shake. Cool off.
And even Missy's like, she's sharing a lot of it. She's sharing a lot of like these dances on her own timeline. Like, talk about somebody that's literally for the culture, from the culture. Absolutely. That chick.
Woo. Oh man. And then you see also today they released a snippet of Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj remix to
Say So.
So Say So,
Yeah.
I'm like, look at this. Come on. Y'all just getting us all the way together. Because Doja Cat song Say So is dope.
Yeah, I do like that. Her body is thick. She got a thick, cute little body on her.
Right? I agree.
I was like, girl. And then for her to be wearing that see-through like mesh, I was like, girl, you got your titties all out. It took me a second. I was like, this is a cute, like very poppy, like appropriate video. And I was like, oh, that's
she got the titties out.
Right? I was like,
that's that's like Kelly Rowland in Coffee. Had her titties all the way out.
She had them chocolate chips all out.
You saw you saw them Hershey's Kisses.
I was like, come on now, picking through the shirt.
Look, and you know what? I love that she plays into colors that are so fitting to that beautiful melanin. Like it's so beautiful.
Beautiful. It's upsetting how beautiful her skin tone is.
And like she rocks brown so well. Yes. She rocks brown, the color brown so
not every black person can wear the color brown. That's a hard color for us to wear.
Yes.
But it fits her skin tone perfectly.
So good. Were you gonna say the one?
I forgot. I was sitting here thinking about her, like I'm imagining her in like different colors, and I'm just like, gosh, she's so goddamn pretty.
Right. Oh, pretty.
And that afro bit she had, afro, like the drummer for Gem.
Yeah.
That was a throwback reference.
Right.
Ooh, girl, she be cracking me up though when she be talking about like, y'all see that when she was drunk, she had those margaritas and she was talking about her what size her dildo is.
Kelly was?
Yes, she was. I
know she got that Kelly After Dark right now on IG.
Yeah, like and if you go on her Twitter, she has a pen when she like pinned it. What did it say? She said something about like is your partner okay with like you having like a dildo or something like that? Like, yes, bitch. Like she had a whole ass conversation with someone on Instagram Live, and she was like, I had a couple drinks, and she was like, my toy is like, it's like this big, but girl, it be hitting it. And I was like, heavily. Yes, girl.
Said sex in the morning with coffee. This is the one thing I enjoy about that, because Kelly and Michelle and Solange could be so much more open than B. B has to get everything out in her music.
Yeah.
Because she's so big that she just can't. And honestly,
she has to control it. She has to control it.
And I honestly don't want to see Beyonce on IG Live. That's too close.
Too accessible.
I love that she's one of the few stars that is still this like facade and this like mirage about her. Like the old MJ and Janet days where you wouldn't see them until like they were ready for you to see them. Yeah. And so that's what I still love about Beyonce. But I love the ones that aren't as big as Beyonce giving us this inside scoop and this inside look at their lives and what they think.
It was 5 days ago. She said, sex toys. Do you prefer using them by yourself or with your partner?
Do you guys use sex toys with your partners?
Yeah, sometimes.
We don't either. We don't have sex toys.
No. Oh.
Hey Corey, we might need to do something about this though. We in quarantine, but we need to change it up.
we have one that has been sitting in the drawer since
collecting dust
since Chicago. Literally collecting dust. So never used it. Never broke her out. We packed that thing up and moved it 5 times across 3 state lines.
You know.
Okay, this is the one time I'm agreeing with Auntie Vodka that she is not the only freak of the aunties.
Thank you. Because she's sipping her wine over here like, how many toys you got, Auntie Hennessy? Oh, she got to count.
Wait, no, I do.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, is she still counting, y'all?
2 hands.
Out there in podcast land. YouTube, you can see.
So I'm at 8.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And which, is it all dildos? Is it vibrators? I'm like curious actually now. This was not planned.
I mean, we're there. Only one of them is a vibrator. The rest are dildos or other types of toys. Right. And then I guess, if you call like different types of harnesses and other type of equipment, then I guess we're at like 11.
Okay, because I do have a harness, but that's almost like more for fashion reasons than anything. Like,
if used the right way though, bitch can't go nowhere. You know,
that is true. Like it's a
hey mom,
hey girl. Yeah, like I have a bulldog harness, but like honestly, I don't know Corey. Like for how much Corey talks a big game, but she almost gets a little shy in those moments. Because I don't know why. Like that's his conversation to talk about. Me, I would probably be more open. Like I'm like, whatever, try it. If you don't like it, don't do it anymore, kind of thing. You know. So we're gonna have that. That's interesting. Like, and I haven't even really thought about toys in a while, but it might be time. And I'm sure there's some deals out there right now too.
Right? Look, come on, Amazon. You get that Prime. You get that 2-day delivery.
Girl, huh?
Oh. Yeah, man. I don't know. That just. Like, I'm not a prude in the sense that, like, I could never use any toys, but it's just, like, I don't feel the need to. Right. You know, like, even to spice things up, like, I don't feel the need. Like, we do a lot of stuff.
Prude. I just want some respect. Close the door if you want me to respond.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, privacy is my middle name.
My last name is Control.
No, my first name ain't Baby. It's Janet. It's Jackson if you're nasty. Oh, she needs to drop something too.
Look, all I'm going to say is Auntie Hennessy has all this ass for a reason, and it requires a certain amount of time. Okay? And attention. Exactly. So if you get tired, you need to, the show must go on, okay? So, while you have your water break,
I'm putting this mental picture of somebody just be like this.
Yeah. Finish him.
Stop. Got the phone in one hand like this, and then the other hand is doing this.
She got Mortal Kombat. He's like, That's funny. Do you like water-based lube or silicone-based lube?
Silicone-based lube for me, personally.
I like silicone too, but sometimes not all silicone-based lubes are the same, is what I've found over time.
Really?
Because some of them are a little bit too sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with some water-based too. It's like over time they get too sticky as well. But you find like a good silicone lube, woo, bitch.
I'm a platinum girl. I like platinum and I like gun oil.
I like gun oil.
Yeah, I use Swiss Gear. I think that's what it's called. Swiss Gear.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't like Swiss Gear's water base.
I don't use
No,
their
I
water
don't
base. It's like snot. It's
Yeah.
really like not the color, but it's just like it's goopy. But I like their silicone base. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good segment. That was a good segment.
Oh yeah. Damn, y'all don't know about that. I said this is not how we should be starting the new year, just knowing about Jerrell's life like that. Like now y'all just know.
And thing is like, and we asked each other like, had our libido changed then? Like we were like, okay, are you having more sex? Are you having no sex? Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Has it changed even since then? Or is it the same?
It's still the same.
Yeah, I think ours is probably
it's still the same.
Yeah, ours is still the same.
Yeah. So the ashy aunties I chose, and maybe we even do. What time is it? Ask your auntie. The last one of 2020. But it's a replay from one earlier. I did, and maybe, man, we're all on the same vibe. Because mine was the body count episode with Pre. Hey, Pre.
Hey, boo.
Hey. And so that was my episode. And that episode just sticks out for a lot because that was the episode we were just on a roller coaster emotionally. Like, George Floyd had just got killed, and Ahmaud had just got killed. And like we were crying, but then we were laughing. We were all over the place on that episode just because emotionally we were just raw and we were just tired, honestly. So that part of it kind of sticks out in my memory on that. But then also the body count because we reference Jerrell's body count literally the rest of the year.
26 all the time. 26.
To the point, even when Brandon, Auntie Brandon came on, he's like, "Oh yeah, because you only had 26." So I like that, and like just talking about does body count matter? So community, here's that episode. All right, so this one, I don't know. We don't have who it comes from, but the question is. Does a person's body count determine if you would date them or not? Ooh, so is body count important to you?
I'll let you go.
Does that come in the beginning when you meet them, or after you already established a relationship? Like, you get to know them, and because that's if you go, hey, how you doing?
Kind of relationships over there.
I've had. You know what I mean? If you go, hey, how are you doing first? And I was like, oh, how many people have you slept with? Like, I don't ask that on the first time. 23, bye. You know what I mean? Like, bye. But like you become friends and you get to know the person, then I think, might be a little different. You might be willing to, hey, I don't care,
That's a valid
point. I feel like it's a little bit of an antiquated question to ask because in today's world, like, there's a lot of sex positivity going on, and I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm telling on myself, but
I'm asking for a friend.
I don't know that many gays. Let me qualify it this way. I don't know that many gays in my network that could probably give you a total count. I mean, for real.
For real. I was thinking the same thing.
In a grinder kind of world, where you have an app that tells you somebody is like right there,
really?
Or up there, or down there, and you're ready to get it in, you get it in. So like, I feel like
26.
Did you just really
said
count?
26?
Oh, you know every. Well, I know every. Anyway, I'm about to tell them. Anyway, go ahead, Dawon.
One now, Dawon.
Look, I have been a serial monogamist. I've been in a lot of very long-term relationships. I've been with my partner for 5 years. Never stepped out on the relationship. But when a bitch is single,
she ready to mingle. I know that's right.
Like, what? Let's get it in and let's go. Like. So, I mean, like the question of like, does a body count matter? In my view, not really. Number one, because I'm not asking that kind of question because that's a little presumptuous. It's like you're prioritizing a sense of in my view, you're prioritizing like this idea that because someone is not sexually promiscuous or sexually free, let me put it that way, sexually free, because we're using sex positive words here. Mm-hmm. You're making an assumption that a person who is not sexual, or a person who is sexually free, is that's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And in my view, it's not. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people.
I think it's more important to know how many people they cheated with than how many people they slept with.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Say that.
We go into some different territory now.
Right. Yeah, but that's facts. That's facts.
I think that's huge looking to character, right? If you're going to continue or build a relationship with somebody like that.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
believe in people changing, but it's going to make you make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision about that.
Well, and I think for me personally, I think, you know, like everyone's history leads them to where they are with this person today. And so if you're so caught up on a person's past, you're not allowing room for growth into their future. But I think there are certain things like that, that is important to pay attention to a person's past, because you got to watch out for habits, and because that shows you what is a characteristic and what's a flaw, what is a bad decision. There's a difference. So that's I think the only thing that matters when it comes to a body count. I mean, like I said, mine's is 26. I know all the men and women that I have slept with. In my early years of coming out, I was a little bit more out there than I am now.
A little more Nelly Furtado, promiscuous.
You know,
so 23 of them body counts happened within the first 5 months of her coming out.
Look, I wish my first sexual experience scared the fuck out of me. It took a whole year and a half before I could do it again. So, like, it was but no, I mean, like, there were just certain things that happened in my life where I made the decision where I was like, okay, I need to be more selective and cautious about putting myself out there and, you know, to, you know, be sexual with other people. I mean, not putting this person's business out there, but I've had friends over in my life that have become positive. And so I have learned to be more aware sexually of who you are, you know, being sexual with. Right. And so I learned to be more, you know, aware of my own health and those that I am also choosing to be sexual with. You know, not to say that there are any issues with anyone being HIV positive or anything of the sort like that.
Or herpes
positive. It's not, you know, but I've learned to, you know, not just give it away, you know, make people work for it. I mean, y'all know in this relationship, I said on this podcast.
Yes, I'm giving it away.
Look, I've said on this.
I'm like, take it all.
Look, I've said on this podcast. Look, it was 4 or 5 months into our relationship with business where
he is giving tickets. Here's number 3.
Look,
get in line.
Now serving number 69.
Like, we ain't playing no games. Look, if I have the option between doing it myself or having somebody else there, and I'm single,
no, see, because I'm that person. I'm that person, and it's bad to say, and I don't condone people doing this, but I was that person who'd be in the apps that would be talking all this game, and then I'll masturbate and flake the fuck out and be like, I don't need you no more. Don't need you no more. I have my hands like honestly, like I have gone to places where like
that is a real thing though. That is a real thing. You can get worked up. You can get worked up just, you know, on the anticipation of hooking up, and then you're like, you know what, and then like,
I'm good.
I'm glad I didn't leave the house.
Let
me go to bed.
Right?
I had the yogurt.
I'm good. Yogurt.
That's funny. But yeah, like for me, like I don't think body count ever really even crosses my mind, and it still doesn't really. Just because who cares?
Yeah.
As long as you like I think, Jerrell, you were starting to hit on it. Like, as long as you're doing it in a healthy way and sexual positive way, and you're not putting people at risk, you're having the conversations and things like that. Do what you want to do. Sleep with who you want to sleep with, however many you want to sleep with. I don't care at all. But I think you hit on it. It's just like, if there's like the cheating and things like that, I think that's legit conversations you probably need to have as you get into more of a serious relationship with whomever it is. You know, it's just like, what is your past in that regard? Have you been cheated on? Have you cheated? Things like that. Just to see, okay, what am I getting into? Is this going to rear its head again in a year from now or 10 years from now, whatever it may be?
It also depends your headspace, right? So, like, if you're hooking up to hook up, you don't care about anything, right? I mean, you're gonna go for it. But if you try to hook up because you try to figure it out, if you're gonna like that person, you're obviously gonna care. There's so many variables, you know, that is going to make people care or not care about it.
Because I'm one of those people that can literally have, I'm one of those people that can have a sexual experience with someone and be emotionally detached. Like, I don't need the emotion to it. So for their, like, having those sexual experiences could easily happen for me because I'm like, oh, I'm here to please, like, to have pleasure with you. And that's the only transaction that's happening here. So I don't care about anything else. And if you look at it that way, it can be very easier to have a higher body count because you're like,
you know what?
It's just about pleasure.
I have to have like some kind of an emotional connection. I
not
have
me.
to. Like for me,
I'm a no kisser.
It doesn't have to be deep.
I'm a no kisser.
Listen, don't.
See, I don't understand that.
I'm a no kisser.
That's a part of it. Like
we get taught to, and I say we, especially in Brazil, because I think even like being from another country, you know, I see differences in culture, but we're supposed to preserve our parts, and what's most special, you save it for who you care, some at least. And
yes, that's not how they dress in Brazil, though.
Brazil, you go out and you kiss whoever you want as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. Nobody looks at you if you're kissing 4 different guys. You know, you can go, you know, like it was a New Year's, me and my best friend and another friend, and we're like, let's see how many guys we kissed, and we're like in the high teens and 20s. You know, within 3 hours. It was just
come on, New Year's.
Kissing is so, it's close, but it's like where you get the feeling of starting getting excited. But when you go to sex and you go to your sexual part, that's your sacred part. That is entering your body, you know? So I think we're taught a little different. But obviously there are people that are like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do whatever I want.
I don't know, like
that
phrase.
Not the spokesperson for all the people that are Brazilian.
That's why I don't understand how kissing. That's why I don't understand. Yeah, go to Brazil and kiss everybody. That's why I don't understand like how kissing is so sacred for, you know, some Americans. Like,
because we have like sayings like, "Do you kiss your grandmother with that mouth?" Or you know, like, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" Like often we are taught that like, if you are saying something dirty, then you're you know, they shouldn't be coming out of your mouth. Or like, for instance, if you say something bad, like people will clean your mouth, you know, they'll, you know, put soap in your mouth, you know, to wash your mouth out. So like, it was kind of always taught, at least for me personally, that, you know, like what you say is very important and what comes out of your mouth is very important, you know, so you
and
have
what goes in your butt is not?
I mean, that's another hole. Look, so Pre don't know, like, I do say on this show, a hole's a hole, but not this hole. This hole is sacred, okay? Like,
but I think in America, I think there's a lot of that. So I feel America, honestly, is very sex, like, I don't know what word to use, reclusive? Like, no, I think like,
Brazil too, and I think it has
uptight about sex in this country, I feel like.
Oh, 100%.
And I feel like it's, for me,
very
it took
puritanical roots.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of it comes from just like church and things like that, which is a lot of the values for a lot of people, which is awesome. But I think what happens sometimes is you're so stuck in that you never get to a point, even if you're a virgin and you get married, having sex in your relationship, in your marriage, you're still kind of uptight about it because like you think it's almost a dirty thing, and you know. And I feel like that's a lot in America, honestly. And maybe it's a little different within the gay culture, where you might get a little more promiscuous. How you say that? With promiscuous?
Sex positive.
There we go. Sex positivity, right? But like I feel like body count, even like I'm married now, and it's not even been something that I've ever asked Corey, and I don't think I care. You know?
I don't think now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever asked Adam.
Yeah. So
I've asked Fizz.
In fact,
we've asked each other.
have you? Did
Yeah.
Fizzlick tell you?
No, he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me because she private. She private. She don't. She don't say no.
She's the queen of Albania, bitch.
And I guess back to the question, would it have determined if you would have dated Nick then?
Oh no, I just wanted to know. I was just a nosy ass hoe. I just wanted like who done more, me or you? I knew the answer, but I just wanted to know how close we were.
It's like you above, below. And honestly, I don't even know my number.
I don't know mine, and I don't care.
I don't think I care
really
either. Like because I know I'm not doing it to hurt myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm not out there just reckless. Like the whole time before Corey and everything. Like I say this story all the time. I think I've said it on here. Before I met Corey, I was in Chicago trying to be the biggest hoe. I didn't care. Like I really didn't. I mean, I cared. I didn't sleep with everybody. Like I got to be attracted, and I think there's still
She had some. She had some.
It was
It's
another little,
like jelly.
It was another little summer.
She had some standards.
Exactly.
She
I
had
have
some
standards. But it's just like you said, Dawon, like if I'm single, it's none of your damn business. It really isn't. As long as it's consensual between me and that person and persons, if that's your thing, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. And honestly, like even the concept of like,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say you only get to know that number really later in the relationship because that's when you're gonna ask. You know.
And I don't think Corey ever asked me. I honestly don't think so. I'm sure he's going to ask me now when he hears this. He's going to be like, what is your number?
we have told our number to each other.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it's so important that I don't remember her number.
See, I think we put so much pressure on it sometimes that like everyone seems to care about it. And maybe you care about it in that moment, but as time goes on, there's so many other things that matter.
Well, we didn't care. More curiosity. I think the only thing that people need to be is like, it's not, obviously we're getting to an agreement that it doesn't matter how many people, but people need to be transparent about, I didn't care, or I have STD, or because you need to have respect for the person you're getting together with. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, being honest, transparent, and saying the truth. There is somebody out there that's like, I don't care, let's do it either way. You're going to find somebody. But let that person have a choice to say yes or no, knowing all the facts.
Yes.
I agree with that statement. I agree.
I'm just sitting here trying to think, like, in context of relationships and people that I was interested in dating, I didn't even pay a lot of attention to, like, I certainly didn't pay attention to, like, the whole, like, how many people you slept with, because I didn't really care. No. And I didn't really care as much about like what they did. Like if you had exes and like you cheated on your exes or whatever, I didn't so much care. Like that wasn't that, I wasn't really interested in learning about that. And let me take a step back. That I was curious, but it didn't really weigh on my evaluation of that person because I think I've learned a long time ago that, you know, all the experiences and decisions and instances that happen to a person and as a result of that person existing created the person you have in front of you. So if I used and judged that person by all of this stuff without really knowing, you know, who they are or whatever, I'm not really giving them a fair shot if I was interested in them.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's good to know, like, and I would want a potential person that I was like interested in to be forthright with, you know, their sexual past or whatever. And certainly I think the thing I was most interested in was their like STD status. That's what I really cared about. Like at the end of the day, I wanted, like, I don't care who you slept with. I don't care how you slept with it. I don't care who you cheated on. What's your status?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, for those who care, I think the focus should be on, if that's something that bothers you and you're also about monogamy, then just focus on being the last one. Like if they got a body count or however, just focus on being the last one to add to the number. That's it. Otherwise, don't care. Like if it matters to you, then that should be your main focus. But other than that, what comes before you ain't your business. Like,
and maybe
we all
figure
have a
out
past.
why you care that deeply too. Like, where's that rooted in? You know, like is it?
I would be more interested in at what point did a person figure out what they were interested in sexually? Because I find, and maybe this is just me, like I find that part of like that like sexual outreach that one does and how many their body count is.
I like that.
We're trying to find all kind of words.
they're sexually researched.
Right. That sexual
research.
That reach around. I mean,
But like, but I think the thing that is really important is, you know, in the midst of you figuring out who you are sexually, have you figured it out? Because there are a lot of people that are, you know, that have, you know, issues with, you know, like being a top, being a bottom, and things with that. You know, their own sexual body count. They have issues with, you know, certain kinds of sexual activity. Whether you know have an open or closed relationship, and what is it that you really want and desire. Like those are the things that are unresolved. Like in the context of dating. Like in the context of dating, not just like hooking up with people, but in the context of dating someone, like those are the important conversations. Like, have you figured out what, you know, what excites you, what motivates you, what, you know, what gets you stimulated, you know, how are you, you know, sexually driven, you know, and because there are people that have really high sex drives and people that have really low sex drives, you know, and that can be a challenge within the context of a relationship. You can have the same values, but different sex drives, and that becomes a rift.
Yeah, that's very true. So I like that question. That was a good question. Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't know how we got that one. I forget.
I want to find out, but I want to find out from the community, like, are there people in the community that the body count is important, and then why? Like, why is that?
Why?
And like, no heat, no judgment. Like everybody's like different. So
learning.
Yeah, I would just be curious, like, you know, like if it's important to you, why is that important to you?
Exactly. Yeah. And like we even see, and continue to send your Ask Your Auntie questions. We love them. So send them to us in DMs or AYA@MinoriTeaReport.com. Keep those coming in because we love this segment in the show. You guys clearly love it too because you continue to send them in. So thank you. Yeah. Pre. I miss Pre. We got to have Pre back on again too.
We definitely have to. I'm gonna have to message her actually. I'm gonna text her.
Yeah. And like she DM'd us maybe a month or two ago. Kind of checking in, and I don't know if she kind of gave us some personal stuff. So congrats to whatever your personal stuff, but yeah, hey Pri. Then the last one, Dawon, what you got there, boo?
Curiosity get nasty.
And so I guess it's just a nasty episode. We just rehashing all our nastiness.
Just pulling our pants down and bending over so you can see all the stuff that's going on.
Okay, hey. I'm happy.
God, we're so stupid. It don't take much.
It don't.
Community, here's that episode. You're going to find some more just our nasty stuff that we probably even forgot we even said.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to move on to this new kind of curiosity. I don't think, do we ever come up with a name for it?
I don't know.
Did we call it nasty?
Nasty.
Nasty.
Hey, community, I feel like I've branded myself as the nasty person. I'm really not the nastiest of the nasty. Sometimes the Wabi sticking in there. I don't know. Hold on.
Sometimes it's very different than all the times, boo.
There you go.
I am just open with the conversation. I am very
girl, you said that open like
But remember a couple episodes, I believe it was Jerrell and Nick, where they both looked at each other and said, "We good, boo. We good." So they might be the undercover freaks. I'm just the one that's putting it out there.
Okay, undercover about this. I mean, maybe. So the first question I'm gonna ask y'all.
What's the nature of the segment? What we doing?
It's gonna be nasty.
Okay.
Nasty.
Here we go.
All right, so let's start with the first question. Do y'all brush
before giving a blowjob?
No.
Same.
Brush,
I never
brush after.
Now that's
That's the real tea.
a
Not every single time.
lot of actually a lot of times it depends on
When?
what you're doing after it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because one thing can lead to another.
I mean, it depends if you're not quitting, because if you're not quitting, you don't want to like make your gums raw and like subject yourself to possible like infection of an STI within your mouth. So you don't want to brush before and after because you can increase bleeding and all the rest of that stuff happens. So if you ain't quitting and you going through the marathon and you going to the finish line, don't brush after for at least 30 minutes. See what flavor,
Thank you, Dr.
a
Jerrell.
little taste
Yes.
test,
You get that random hair in the back of your throat.
Fact.
I mean, coughing and wheezing.
That's the worst. That's like all the way real. I know people are probably like, okay, Kerel, you went over the line, but that's a real ass statement. Y'all know you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You get that one hair that's stuck like
Oh my
on your tongue that won't
God.
move.
Right?
Oh,
That's the worst.
especially
Okay.
doing the blowjob, because you be like, I
Right.
don't want to on my throat. But you be like moving your tongue around, and you be like, he might be like this anyway. So you're like trying to move it from the back of your tongue to the front. You're like rolling your tongue, like you are.
I cannot stand y'all.
I'm like, oh. And then
Well,
you try to
community,
play it off.
This some real ass shit though. There's some real ass stuff on a Monday morning.
It really is. It really is.
Whew. Okay.
Okay, next question. How often should a bottom be ready for sex?
Oh wow.
Wait, how often should what?
A
How
bottom
often should a
ready.
bottom be ready for sex? Do you think there's like a special number? Like,
No. I no. Because I mean, we've all been in those situations, and I'm assuming, I guess, but never mind.
You can't stop there. Come on, Miss Vodka.
You can't be ready all the time, like, because I know some people are like, "Oh, I can't eat that. I can't do this." That. And I'm like, "Bitch, eat." Like, like I am about to subject my life to always having to stay ready, and I don't project that on my husband. It's just like life happens. Like you're not just gonna be eating rabbit food all day, every day. Sometimes you want Taco Bell.
also too though. So I mean,
Right.
you kind of.
To all beef chalupas.
I mean, Gordita Crunches and shit. So I mean, if you want to go Gordita Crunch, I just know that it might not be when we want it to be, and vice versa. But no, I think that's no. I think that's stupid to put that pressure on somebody to be all the time ready.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you getting in where you fit in. I mean, hey, stay ready if you want to. But I'm with you, Kerel. Like, bitch, eat. Like,
Bitch,
go
I
ahead.
guess it also depends on like how messy you really are.
That
Like,
part.
because there are people that physiologically don't have any control over even whatever they eat, that just, they may need more maintenance than others.
Well, here's a little tip too. Fiber helps a lot. Like, make sure you get your fiber intake.
Yeah.
All
You
the
never
straight
know how
people are
far they
like,
going in your guts. So you
the
gotta
straight
make
people
sure.
are like, I don't know what they're talking about right now. This has no relevance
Or
whatsoever
there
to my
might be
sex
some,
life.
or there might be some straight people that I'm just
Educational moment.
educational, or
Mhm.
they know too.
But to be fair, I know a lot of my straight female friends are into anal too.
That's
So
what I was
it's kind of becoming a
Mhm.
trend. So I mean,
There's a lot of people that just caught that. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
that's what they're talking about.
Oh Lord, catch up! Come on, catch up.
okay. All right. Next
That's
question.
a lot of pressure to stay ready, though.
It is. It really is.
Mhm.
Okay. Next question. Do you feel like a completely different person post nut?
I'm gonna say yes, 100%.
I think everybody does.
Like,
I think everybody does. Like, you don't even be thinking coherently. Like,
no.
Your one goal is that. Like, there's nothing else on planet Earth at that moment. But the second that orgasm like subsides, you're like, oh shit, like, what did I just do with my life?
I forget what movie I was watching, but like the mom was like giving her daughter advice for her marriage, and she was like, the way that she was like, the way I got what I wanted in the marriage was after he came, I always asked him for things because he was confused. So he always be like, yes. Like, damn, that's smart as fuck. Like,
either immediately after or like immediately like before, especially maybe even immediately before, because you really don't give a fuck.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Like, that's funny. Lord have mercy.
Look, I mean, it's like it's literally like jumping in a cool pool on a hot day afterwards. You know, just like your hair. Look, I'm bald headed as fuck, but I'm telling you, afterwards, bitch be feeling like Rapunzel. Be like, this bitch in a big ass bun. Like, woo, where my sweatpants at? Like,
oh man, that's a funny question. Man, we just be giving the community all our business.
So do.
We about to ask y'all too, though, community.
Okay, so this is more of a like, would you rather? Would you fuck the guy your ex cheated on you with? Would you ever get revenge by fucking the guy or the person your ex cheated on you with?
Depends.
No.
Depends how hot he is. No, just playing. No, I'm not a vengeful person like that, so probably not.
I would.
Why are we not surprised?
First of all, I'm comparing notes.
As I say in my Cal Baker voice.
No, the Capricorn in me is
Carl
like,
Barker.
I need to know the numbers. The Capricorn in me is like trying to get the logic behind this. I was like, so what's the difference? I need to know. Like, can this person do this better than me? Can this person do this better than me? Like, you know, like in my head, I'm thinking, because I'm one of those people, like, if I don't know, I'm going to always ask that why.
Oh, see, I'm not like that.
Why?
At least not in that regard.
And I guess it wouldn't be out of revenge to hurt them. It would literally just to ease my own mind more so as to why would someone leave me for someone else.
Wow, that's a deep rooted question.
Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why.
I cut people off. I just cut them off. It's a wrap. It's done. I don't care about you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's like if that's the hurt that you cause, it's a wrap. That's wasted energy. No, I'd rather move on. I'd rather like have my own glow up, live my own best life, and have you like trolloping with whomever you need to trollop with. But
look,
best of life to you.
I can do better. Look, don't play.
I don't think me sleeping with like the other person would be anything that had to do with the ex. Like it would.
No, it would be for me.
It would solely be I was either also attracted to that human being and somewhere down the line it happened, but it would have nothing probably to do with my ex.
I mean,
It'd
a hole
solely...
can also be a hole. So I mean, you just
never
know. A hole can also be a hole. So you know.
We have said that. We have said a hole is a hole. And sometimes you just gotta
now look, the real tea is if you didn't know who your ex had slept with and you ended up sleeping with them anyways and found out after the fact because you know that community is like
that sounds like some Jerry Springer stuff.
Look, the community is really that damn small.
Right. It's
it honestly is. It honestly.
Like you think there's a lot. No, there ain't nothing but 1 degree of separation.
Well, okay, so this is another question. I didn't even find this one. So what's the stance on dating or hooking up with your friend's ex?
Nope.
No,
I can't.
That's just too messy.
I can't. It's incestuous for me. Like I know people that will sleep with their friend group. Like will sleep with them. Like and
are they still friends?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
And it hasn't caused issues or nothing?
Not that I'm aware of. Not really, no.
Well,
it's just I don't know. And here's the thing. Yeah, like I'm like that's not like a judgment thing. It's just like my brain doesn't work that way. Like if I see you as a friend, like that's it. Right. And that means that anybody that you are with is off limits.
Yes.
Because it's for me, I'm not saying that it is weird, but I'm saying for me it's weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's circumstances where like things have happened in a roundabout kind of way, but I would never like go looking for, you know, like within my network.
Right. I agree with that.
For dating. And actually I always found it, and actually Adam and I share this in common, like it's almost like a moment of pride to know that you're dating somebody, you're interested in somebody, and no one else knows them.
Yeah.
Like nobody in your group like has, you know, like been with them or whatever.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I guess that part though, like that second part you just said, I don't know if I care too much of that. I mean, I guess it just depends how many of the friend group have been that person. Like, but like if everyone has a past, and that, like if it just happens that you knew someone and in the past it happened, I can't control that part. You know, would I ideally want that to be the case? No, but I'm not gonna stress myself out. And obviously, I've been out of that pool for so long, I don't even know those emotions anymore. but yeah, anyway. Okay, what's the next question?
Okay, next question. Eating ass, take it or leave it.
Nom nom, bitch. SOMF.
Yum, yum.
Hashtag
Gobble them up.
SOMF.
Blow
it's a
the
no
bowl.
for me, Paula. It's a no for me. Mm-mm.
Really?
I might lick my finger and then like flick the booty hole a little bit, to, like as if it's the tongue. You know, I got, you know, boom, 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 boom. You know, but no, my tongue, no. Mm-mm.
Really?
No.
I'm here for it. My whole friend group knew that answer. they hear me say nom nom or hashtag SOMF all the time.
And see, this is the person who's saying he doesn't understand why he's queen of the nasty.
I'm just open with my nom nomness.
Yes, we know how open you are, Kerel.
Oh Lord, sorry, Mom.
It's a little late. A little late for that one.
All right. This one's not nasty, but it's deep. Is it better to end up with someone you really like / enjoy, but can't bring yourself to fully love? Or to be with someone who you can love so much that you're completely vulnerable and potentially lose your own identity?
Oh, God. Got me thinking.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, say the first one again. Yeah.
Okay. Is it better to end up with someone you really like / enjoy, but can't bring yourself to fully love? Or to be with someone you love so much that you're completely vulnerable and potentially lose your own identity?
See, I was with that second one all the way until you said potentially lose your identity. I'm glad to be vulnerable. Like, I think that's what you ultimately want in a relationship, is to literally be your 100% self, even if that leaves you vulnerable. But then to lose yourself, I don't think you have to lose yourself if you're vulnerable. So that's the part of that second one that I'm troubled with.
See, for me, like I get that second part, because like I know people who have like just given their all just to make something work, and they end up changing themselves solely just to make that relationship work with someone. I think it means in that sort, like instead of like, you know, instead of staying true to your core values and what you want out of something, that you throw it all away, the baby in the water, just to make that relationship work.
Now that you say it that way, I might have to lean towards the first one then.
Yeah. I don't think anything is worth sacrificing yourself to the point that you're not yourself.
Right.
And if the love was reciprocating, then you wouldn't lose yourself.
Right.
But what about the risk of getting to that point? Because you know, love comes from somewhere. It doesn't just happen. I mean, it's not just something that you can plan. It happens on its own. So I think you have to kind of do the second part to even get to that point of love. Because I'm assuming the question in the first part is saying that you're kind of always in a relationship being like, well, so what's next? What are we doing? Like, here we are, like 12 years later, and we don't really have a game plan. Like, you kind of feel like you're just in limbo with someone.
So what's your answer then?
I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna go the vulnerable route because at least again the logical person in me is going to try to always try to figure something out. And I'm always trying to learn. And two, my dumbass loves a fucking challenge. Like I'm the person who's like,
I'm gonna love you.
look, I'm the one that's like, you got
find a
two
way.
roads. You can skip down the yellow brick road with daisies and butterflies, or you can go down to Jason's horror house with Freddy Cougar. Oh, that looks cute. I can beat their ass. Let's go. I'm always choosing the harder road. I don't know what it is. With so much that I do in my life, I've always just been that person to choose a harder road.
I think fundamentally in the second part of the question, it's like, if depends on what you emphasize in the question. Like it's, if you're emphasizing at the risk of like losing yourself, but you're like in love, the love is reciprocating, and it's only the risk, then I think it's worth the risk, because in my view you have to be vulnerable, you know, to really give into all that love has to offer you, right? As opposed to being like so calculated that, you know, you may have like a lifelong companion, but you never know what that feeling of love is because you've settled for companionship and not like love. So I think everybody who...
But would you throw away your morals and everything like you said?
That's what I'm saying. It depends on what you emphasize. If the question is if it's at the risk of, but it doesn't mean that you actually do. It just means that you're at the risk of it. Then
I think
it's
that's
worth
what we
the
do
risk.
all day, every day. Yeah,
it's worth the risk. But if it's you fall in love with someone and as a result lose yourself, I think that's a completely different scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I agree.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Even though now that we use our brains, let's go back to the nasty train. So would you rather never hear music again or never have sex again?
Could you masturbate?
I'm assuming sex means any type of orgasm.
Oh, damn. Oh, see, music is just so huge to me. Wow, this is a tough one.
Look, we all crickets. I
would say never have sex again. And the only reason I say that is because music gives me so much joy at any time during the day and night and weekends, all the time. And not to say that sex does not, but sex is a sometimes thing, whereas music is an always thing, as an all-time thing, all the time thing. You know, like I listen to music when I'm like cranking stuff out at work. Like I'm tuning everybody else out. I'm listening to music, even though I'm not really listening to it. It's part of that routine. So for me to not have that for the rest of my life ever, and if I think about like let's call it the last 20 years of my life, you know, if I, you know, knock on wood, am able to live into like my late 90s and, you know, even early hundreds, the last 20 years, I'm probably not having sex. So, but I will be listening to music. So I feel like if I had to make a choice today and know that from this point on, I could either have one or the other, I would choose music.
Like my gut instantly said music. And then I started thinking more. So usually I try to go back to the gut side and be music. And mine is almost solely, I don't even know my life without music.
Same.
Yes, listening, but like it coming out of me. Like I literally, even last night, like I literally wake myself out of sleep with ideas of melodies, and like it's so ingrained in my DNA that I wouldn't even know what life would be without it. Like to say it just like right now, it left me, I would be so crushed and so lost that it's like I wouldn't want to orgasm then, and I would, you know, And so that's like the gut part of me. But damn, a good orgasm is nice. But I think I agree with Dawon. It's just like it's just so all day, every day that it would be soul crushing for me to not have that capability to hear music.
Those videos that they do of like people when they strip all the music out and you just hear them stomping on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, I would hate that.
That would be life.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
would be life.
Oh, can you imagine like watching Coachella without any of the music? No. Beyonce's Homecoming, I should say. Let me be clear.
Right.
Watching
Right.
Coachella and not being able to hear any of the music? No. I agree with both you guys. Music is just so much of who I am, and like so much of I find so much stability, mental stability with just listening to music and finding inspiration and courage, during positive times and, negative times through music. And like, I'm not as much of a sexual person. Like when I am, it's like, bam, but then, it seems like, all right, she's going to need to recharge for a while. So, where the AirPods in, and I listen to music every day too. So I couldn't imagine like not having music in my life. It's such a great way to express yourself, and it's also such a universal language too. Like you can listen to music of any culture and just feel the beat and the melody and the rhythm and just understand what the artist is trying to express without even understanding the words. Like music is just so powerful.
I mean, like that's why classical's been one of the top genres ever of human race. Has no words in it, but you literally feel what that music is doing.
Yes.
It's such an unwritten language that it says things that you cannot verbally say.
Do you guys feel like your answers would be the same if you were 10 years younger?
Honestly, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because it's just something from a kid. It's been something like, I just remember being a kid. Like, did y'all have like the cleaning playlist? You knew what time it was when certain like 90s songs came on. Like, let some Janet Jackson Nasty come on. Like some Whitney Houston come on. Like, you knew it was time to clean. Or there was, my parents also had their certain. See, and then so like, my parents, would like have like a certain soundtrack when we knew there was like, okay, you hear this music, that means don't disturb them because they haven't grown sexy time. Like you heard Velvet Rope come on and you're like,
not Velvet Rope.
All right, so we gonna stay downstairs. We going to our friend house. Grandma come get us, like, cause there about to be more of us.
Sure. Anytime any place come on.
Yep. I get so lonely. Look, don't look.
That's funny. Literally, it's so funny. Like, that's the one thing I didn't have growing up. Is a lot of the, I guess, quote unquote, normal cleaning list, because it was gospel 99% of the time. And so, like, I knew every gospel song, every gospel artist, everything, but there would be like classic, like, call it African American music, R&B, blues, whatever music that everybody else knew, that I would have to hear at like my friends' places, because we didn't play it in the house at all. It was literally Dottie Peoples and Shirley Caesar and Kurt Franklin, and like, so I knew all that, and I was like the one who had to learn the songs to teach the choir and everything. So I was sitting there practicing these songs, like, so like gospel was so ingrained in me that it was almost when I had to get into my teens to hear it at friends' places, or even like, honestly, it was more at like my friend Chris's place, to hear the Whitneys, to hear the Mariahs, to hear the Temptations, to hear the Isleys, because I was not hearing it. Like, to the point, like, my dad gave his record collection away of all the stuff he grew up on because he was a pastor, and that was what we were listening to. So it was literally until like 13, 14 when I started to hear more of the classic records that everybody knows now. Interesting.
I was just wondering, like, on the flip side, like for those that are in like their early 20s, they might not have experienced sex enough. So it's like, oh, well, I'm still like, like trying to get as much as I can, try to do as much as I can, try to like, do as many positions as I can. Like, everything in like your late teens and early 20s is about trying to do
flexible.
everything. You know what I mean? And then I'm not saying that stuff like you don't have sexual ambitions or whatever when you're out of, your 20s, but like you've been there, you've done that. So it's not as much of a, hunger to like do as much, but you still certainly enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no,
All
that's
right, so last question.
Okay.
Question. We're good on this segment. All right. Would you rather piss yourself every time someone asks what your name is, or shit yourself whenever someone you don't know says your name?
Yeah, say that again.
Oh,
So, would you rather piss yourself every
Uh-huh.
time someone asks you what is your name, or shit yourself whenever someone you don't know says your name?
I'll take this one. I'll shit myself whenever somebody I don't know says my name, because my name is so irregular that it would rarely ever happen.
I was thinking the same thing because there's not too many Kerels out there.
Yeah.
But the thing that sucks is every time you pick up the phone to talk to somebody in customer service or whatever, you would have to shit yourself.
I guess I ain't going to customer service no more.
Right.
Like, you gotta call the cable company because your cable's out. Well, Kerel.
You just call on the toilet. That's what
Right.
you do.
Right. Like you take every work meeting from the bathroom. Like,
Facts.
here we go.
They hear that reverb of the bathroom. They're like, Kerel, are you in the bathroom?
Oh.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's funny.
Oh, could you imagine all the water weight you would lose if you peed yourself every time somebody you knew said your name?
Just be dehydrated.
Right. Skeletor.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would have to shit myself too. Because I mean, like, thinking about like every time you go to the gay bar, like you meet a friend of a friend, and like, what's your name is? Well,
See.
I didn't piss myself, so you don't want to know my name. So thank you.
Right.
Like,
Look, I might as well not have music anymore in my life.
look,
Or an
okay,
adult diaper.
right.
Can't have sex. Could you
Right.
imagine? Either way, sex would be terrible.
Horrible. Kerel. Like, and then like when you're hard and you like trying to pee, like it's a wrap.
That's
Like it hurts.
almost impossible.
Hey, you know what? Look, there's some people are into that, so they would probably love the say my name part.
Right.
Come through S&M community.
Mhm.
Yes. IML coming up again.
I
Mall was just a couple weekends ago in DC. But yeah, community, be ready. We're about to put these questions up for you, and y'all better respond. I hate when y'all don't be responding. Y'all
You
be
know what I
passing through the
hate?
IG story.
Yeah,
like,
because they'll slide in
Right.
the DMs. They'll slide in the DMs and be
Right.
like, "Oh, your answer this was this and this and this and good," or whatever. But then when we post, ask the same questions, they be
say
They'll be
silent.
silent.
Mm-hmm.
Or what
Not
they
this
do
week.
is they'll just like the picture.
Huh.
They'll like the picture said, say something, type something, share your feelings, and you got people liking a picture.
Huh.
Come on now.
Well,
No.
they probably feel that they like it, so that's a feeling.
Oh, I guess. Oh man, yeah. We share a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We share a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. We said, do you feel like you're a completely different person pre and post nut?
Yep.
Why did we ask that? Why did we ask that?
100%.
It's a real thing.
It really is.
Why in the world did we
Look.
ask
I mean,
this?
because like before, you're just like those hormones just be raging, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
It's the
'Cause,
only
like,
thing
before-
you're thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
It's like it's so animalistic, and then when it's all done, you're like,
Ugh. Like you're almost disgusted with yourself. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, dang,
It's like
I
thought
did all
what?
that just for
Right.
that.
Wow, just for that?
I mean, in the moment, in the moment, it's like the best thing ever. Yeah. But like literally 5 seconds after that, you're like, damn, I did all that for that.
I did a lot.
Took all that time just to do that.
That is so true.
Like, I don't get tired afterwards. When I do, like, I'll be wide awake. I'll be ready to like go run.
Oh, not like, not tired or anything, but just like.
But just almost the mindset, like.
It's like.
Oh, yes. Like I can't think about doing it again.
So crazy. Just for that.
Yeah. It also like it makes me appreciate people who can go like round 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, you're like, damn, you go multiple rounds? Because after one round, I'll be like, how many
times have you ever jacked off in a day? Like how many? What's like the most amount of times that you've jacked off and like released in a day?
I think 5.
God, I can't remember back in the day. It hasn't been recent shit. Probably like 4.
The most?
Yeah.
Even like when you were like a teenager?
Yeah. Same.
See, and I can't.
I would say like probably in the double digits for me.
Damn, bitch!
Skeet, motherfucker!
Okay, right.
I mean, if you've got like a whole Saturday.
Where was that on the conversation that we just referenced? Where was that then?
Listen, we gotta save something for some episode.
I
always got a couple of stories.
It's out there now.
It is. You're right.
Pull this one out.
Like double digits. Like okay, double digits 10, double digits 32.
No. Like I would say somewhere between like north of 12 in one day.
Wow. So there's 24 hours in a day. So every other
it
hour
only
you take an
like,
hour, you take a little break.
It don't take that long when you're doing it yourself because you know how to work it.
You know how to.
See, for me, I'm like, I don't want to waste a good nut. I don't want to waste.
That's how I am sometimes too.
Like, you know, and you know, there's like that feeling, like, you know, like when it's a good one, you just, you know, like you just feel it through your body. You know, you just like
ooh, this is about to be a good one.
Right? Like I don't smoke cigarettes, but I want to feel the need to smoke a cigarette when I'm done. Like
I can't stand you.
If I don't get that feeling,
I
didn't do enough.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't like, okay, let me just be clear. This is not like a regular thing. You know, this was like a personal challenge. Like how many times could I do it in one day? Do both, you know, like
he's like, I got
it just keeps coming. Does it ever run out?
He's like looking at the clock. Oh, midnight's almost here.
Gotta get a couple more in there. You're running out of porn. You'd be running out of like.
No, see, no. Here's the thing. Let's be all the way real. There's after a certain point, like your dick just hurt. Like it's like
100%.
Throbby, like. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, apparently she got that grade AA because, you know, she can do double digits and she'd be fine. Because I'm telling you, I'd be like,
I mean, lube matters, you know.
That's
like,
right.
Especially if you're cut. Like if you're uncut, I don't know what that experience is like because I'm cut, or circumcised, but lube matters. So
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah,
because you don't want to rub your dick.
Hey, gun oil.
Yeah.
Lube matters.
Come on now. Abilene, somebody.
Butter boy, something.
Ooh, somebody. Come on now. We be talking about y'all way too much for not to be sponsoring our show. Thank you. This will be the clip. But community, 2020 has been something. Stay safe. Hang in there. Corona's still out here. We don't know when everyone's going to be able to get vaccinated and all that stuff. Mask
Atlanta runoff. Pause. Atlanta runoff.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yes.
Atlanta runoff.
January
really the day
5th.
after today when this releases.
January 5th. Or no, this releases what? 12/28. So in a week, you have a week.
A week.
Do like in person, and then if you don't get there in time, and you weren't able to get your absentee ballot in. Be in person on January 5th. It is so critical on this race to flip the Senate, to have more voice in the Senate so Biden could get some shit done.
Yeah.
So please, if you hear this, donate to the funds and things like that if you're not in Georgia. Like, post on your social media so people don't forget. We have to show up in record numbers again.
Yes, again.
For John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Let me get their names out there for real. Like nobody else. John and Raphael.
And on top of that, if you don't live in Georgia, it's not just about you living in Georgia. It's about if you even know somebody that lives in Georgia. Like, just it's important that we show up for this state.
Every little bit counts.
100%.
Every little bit counts.
And it really does adds up real quick. So if you know somebody, you need to be on them. And matter of fact, look, if you didn't get them a Christmas gift, bitch, you better put that shit in the mail now and be like, hey, boo, look, that's what you need to be sucking up to. Right? Everyone in Georgia needs to be getting a Christmas gift, okay? Because look,
that part.
We need to get them.
Atlanta, stand up.
Get them in there.
Yeah, it's so important. So don't forget to do that. We're on holiday for a few weeks here, so you know we kind of sprinkled in some new stuff for you here. But stay safe. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year from your.
Thanks for rocking with us. Thanks for rocking with us and sharing us and supporting us and, you know, being vocal and just being part of the community. This is as much your podcast as it is ours.
Yeah.
And, you know, we value you guys so much. And, you know, we just want to, we want to make you guys proud. So, you know, if there are things that you want to see us do more of, if you want more guests, if you want more of us, if you want us to talk about certain things, let a bitch know. We auntie. We here for you.
Honestly, and we got some cool shit coming up next year already. But thank you. Thank you. That's all I can say.
So much,
and also, I did want to say this too. I saw this note, Kerel. Don't forget the top episode of the year, actually, and we got to shout these ladies out. Were the ladies from Diking Out?
Yes, I love them so
That was our top downloaded
much.
episode of the year.
That was such a
Out.
fun episode, wasn't it?
That was a fun episode.
Yeah, we even did a curiosity with them too. Like,
yes.
Oh my gosh. So
like I remember that Ask Your Aunties was too like the
oh my god, the Capricorns, it's their birthdays. Happy birthday to y'all too, ladies.
Yay!
That's right, because we Capricorn, it's our time. Whoa.
Oh man, so that was the top episode of the year. Our husbands were like a close second, so we'll shout out to our husbands.
Thank you. Hey y'all.
Hey booze. But the Diking Out crew, the Diking Out ladies, the Diking Out podcast, I should say. So thank you, ladies, for hopping on. And if you need us on your show anytime soon, like I know Jerrell was on there, but hey, get all three of us. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God. Happy birthday to y'all too, for real. They're my Capricorn sisters. Like, yes, I love them so much.
All right, community. We will see you next year. Next
bye,
year.
y'all.
Mwah.